Reveal as questions continue over alleged irregular hirings at the authority.
In sport, Matura reunited tossers are spoken to the wheel as Police FC's TTPFL Tier 2 title match goes down to the final day.
Sunshine sticks around, but Saharan dust has taken the spotlight in the forecast today. Will the dust haze wreck your plans in the week ahead? Details on that and much more in the full forecast.
Trust the process. That's the advice tonight from the attorney representing the family of Joshua Samaru to members of the public as emotions continue to run high over the police's handling of the matter.
In an interview with CNC3 News today, attorney Kristen J. Williams said Samaru's family is prepared to let justice take its course following the Director of Public Prosecution's decision to bring manslaughter and shooting charges with intent charges against Samaru's girlfriend, Kaya Seeley. Samaru was killed on January 20th, while Seeley was injured during the police-involved shooting. Despite the public outcry against the move, Williams said the family is confident Senior Counsel Roger Gaspard knows what he's doing.
The DPP is a wise guy. There must be a reason why the charge was brought, and it would be foolish, actually, and totally unwise for anyone to continue speculating until we see the DPP and have trust in his process.
He also defended recent statements made by Samaru's father and sister in an interview with Guardian Media on Sunday, in which it was alleged that Seeley was known to the TTPS. In the interview, Samaru's sister Christine said she was focused on getting justice for her brother, even as she revealed that Seeley's recent behavior towards her had raised some suspicions. Nevertheless, Williams said the matter is now entirely in the hands of the DPP, but they are not ruling out the possibility of the matter being deemed an extrajudicial killing. In this regard, Williams added that there are a number of outstanding questions which both Police Commissioner Alistair Gavaru and Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander now have to answer.
What was the radio chatter when the incident happened? What was the radio chatter from Maloney? What was the radio chatter from the chase? What was the immediate radio chatter when the incident happened? Ballistics report. Forensic analysis. Those simple basic questions that, will bring closure to our family. Like how exactly your son died.
No charges have been laid against Seeley, who is out of the country seeking medical attention.
CNC3 News awaits a response from Police Commissioner Alistair Gavaru on what timeline has been given to Seeley before extradition proceedings take place. Williams says it is difficult to predict how the case will unfold.
Meanwhile, former Police Commissioner and National Security Minister Gary Griffith is calling on the Police Service Commission to break its silence on the police's failure to use body cameras.
In fact, Griffith believes there's a deliberate move not to use the cameras on crime scenes. But he says the Police Service Commission, which oversees the management, discipline and appointments of police personnel to ensure accountability, efficiency and public trust in the police force, must intervene.
People are criticizing Guevara and Roger Alexander. The people that we are not speaking about is the Police Service Commission. I could ask you right now, who is the chairman of the Police Service Commission? Who is in it? You probably wouldn't know. The majority of the country would not know. They have not said a word. And in this situation with the body cameras, I left 1,200 body cameras.
Griffith also defended the Director of Public Prosecutions, who gave the green light to lay charges against Kaya Seeley. He said Senior Counsel Roger Gaspard cannot be politicized, and having worked with him directly in the past, Griffith says the DPP can only give instructions based on the evidence presented to him by the police.
Meanwhile, the police service is defending its decision to shut down yesterday's protest action, warning that demonstrations near police stations must strictly comply with public order laws and state of emergency regulations.
With more protests planned over the police-involved killing of Joshua Samaru and the injury of Kaya Seeley, police are reminding the public that breaches of the emergency powers regulations could result in fines of up to $100,000 and up to 5 years in prison. Protesters gathered outside the police administration building in Port of Spain yesterday, opposing criminal charges expected to be laid against Seeley. Officers eventually dispersed the crowd. In a statement, Deputy Police Commissioner of Operations Suzette Martin said protests are not banned during the SOE, but organizers and participants must operate within the law. Sociologist Dr. David Mohammed believes the decision to lay charges against Kaya Sealy was a miscalculation on the part of the police, especially when charges are to be laid without any proper explanation. Weighing in on the Joshua Samaru and Kaya Sealy matter, Dr. Mohammed recalled past cases where people were killed by police. He noted that in some cases, there was overwhelming evidence of innocence on the part of victims. However, he questions where was the public uproar over those killings. On the Morning Brew today, Dr. Mohammed lamented that the country's buried hatred and belief in collective punishment actually works against the public's calls for justice.
The social class barriers and problems that exist within our community have created so many obstacles and impediments of division that they prevent us from being able to unite with one another at the right time. So many came out for this case, but didn't come out for others. And for as long as we remain selective by picking and choosing which causes we think are right and wrong, when they're all wrong, that weakens the general public's position to call for justice.
And because of that, Dr. Mohammed says rogue police officers will feel emboldened that they'll never be caught. The sociologist notes there's a pattern in extrajudicial killings. In the Joshua Samaru case, Dr. Mohammed says, where the DPP has authorized charges, it's important to use the unknown to figure out the known. And he's adamant that until societal prejudices are addressed, then there's little that can be done to hold law enforcement to account.
Because there's this deeply rooted belief in collective punishment that all people who look like them, live near them, are neighbors or even relatives or friends or associates or even went to school with them should be treated in the same way. And that is like a national cancer because there's so many people in our society who think that way until the crime problem gets to their doorstep and one of their loved ones have now become profiled and highlighted as a victim, even though they are a victim, are highlighted as a perpetrator in our society.
Dr. Mohammed says he remains a fierce advocate for the police's use of body cameras and repeats calls for sensitivity training for officers in the community.
Well, on the back of that story today, we asked, do you think the DPP should give his rationale for instructing the police to charge Kaya Sealy in the police-involved shooting of Joshua Samaru?
Here's what some of you had to say.
They should, yeah. Because they just charged, they didn't know what went on. And, like, what was the cause of it? Why they do it? Why they didn't do it?
They have no reason for that. They have no reason they should charge the girl. They should charge the police and let me say it.
Yes, I do think they should, because they shoot at her first, and I feel they should not do that.
Yes, I think they should give some reasons why they charge her. Yeah, they deserve some kind of answer from the police.
Well, she shoot at the police, so I don't think they should have any answer for that. But you know, parents is something always take up for the children.
Yes, he should explain why.
Why is it?
Why? Because this man did surrender, and they had a chase and run thing, and they still shoot at the car, and he surrendered. So something wrong.
They should because in every incident we need an explanation of it. So I believe yes, they should.
Even after being released from police custody, Khalifa Tobias has not returned to the family's Goodwood Village home in Tobago. The 22-year-old mother of little Angelo Tobias Plaza spent approximately 11 days in custody following the child's disappearance.
Calls for justice echoed along Harris Promenade in San Fernando last evening as citizens gathered for a candlelight vigil seeking closure for the 2-year-old child. Candles were lit and prayers offered during the gathering, organized by Kevin Lalchan, who stressed that the event was not a protest, but a spiritual appeal for divine intervention as the child's body remains missing. He called for hangings to resume, saying this country has seen too much bloodshed.
And it grieves me to know we as a nation cannot protect our women and our children, our elderly folks, who shall stand for the innocent? Who shall stand for the innocent while they are being slaughtered? Where are the voices?
The vigil came days after Angelo's stepfather, 24-year-old Shannon Miller of Goodwood, Tobago, was charged with the child's murder. The search continues for Angelo's body.
Well, still to come in the news. After the PSA rejects government's best and final offer on salary arrears, the finance minister insists negotiations are ongoing.
Let's tell you what's still to come in news of sport. Just 5 days away from taking on South Korea in a World Cup warm-up, the Soca Warriors squad is still unnamed.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail.
Rigorous verification of facts.
Use of credible sources and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more. Welcome back. As questions continue over controversial hiring practices at WASA, Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez is warning Public Utilities Minister Barry Padaris that he's coming for him when Parliament resumes.
The warning comes after Guardian Media's investigations desk revealed WASA hired 9 social media influencers as part of 416 appointments made after the April 28th general elections. Sources said the influencers were hired under regular WASA job titles and allegedly used to defend the government online. Speaking to another media house, Minister Padaris maintained the workers were legitimately hired through WASA's recruitment process, but Gonzalez rejected that explanation, claiming the number of hires may now be closer to 600 employees and warning taxpayers could ultimately face a bill of more than $100 million annually. Gonzalez says when Parliament resumes on June 5th, he plans to demand details on qualifications, hiring processes, and whether the jobs were properly advertised.
Social media influencer Matara French is defending her employment at WASA after criticism over her appointment to the state agency.
French responded in a social media video saying she earned the opportunity and is doing hands-on work. She also pushed back against critics questioning her qualifications and said she is working to support herself and her family. She also thanked Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the government for what she described as job opportunities for thousands of people.
She told people not to let others make them feel they cannot achieve what they set out to do in life. There's a new chairman on the Elections and Boundaries Commission. Former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, Jacqueline Wilson, was officially appointed by President Christine Kangaloo during a ceremony at President's House today. She replaces Mark Ramkari Singh following his retirement. According to the Office of the President, Wilson brings decades of experience in public administration and governance reform to the role. The Office of the President added that Wilson played a key role in establishing several state institutions, including the Ministry of Public Administration and the Ministry of Digital Transformation. Wilson has also served as the first secretary to the Police Complaints Authority and was awarded the Public Service Medal of Merit Gold in 2017 for her contribution to public service.
Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku says negotiations between the government and the Public Services Association are continuing in good faith, even as the union rejects the state's latest proposal to settle outstanding public sector arrears.
Responding to questions today, he added it would be inappropriate to comment further on the ongoing discussions. The PSA rejected what the Chief Personnel Officer described as the government's best and final offer for wage negotiations covering the periods 2014 to 2016 and 2017 to 2019. The state's proposal includes 40% cash and 60% non-cash benefits, with an estimated settlement value of $3.8 billion. But the PSA is now proposing a revised package of 60% cash and 40% deferred cash, along with equity in state-owned publicly traded assets. Meanwhile, CPO Dr. Darrell Dindial says the government's position outlined last week remains unchanged.
Despite assurances from Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram that Cabinet has already approved a major environmental rehabilitation program, protesters were back out on the streets today calling for jobs, led by former PNM Rio Claro North candidate Louis Costello. The protesters marched with placards along Circular Road, San Fernando, demanding jobs and the replanting of the forests cleared for the Cascadura Energy Project. Now, last month, Minister Ratiram told CNC3 News the government has already signed off on a large-scale initiative under the Relief TT program. The plan is to reforest 102 hectares of land and plant more than 200,000 trees, with over 150 jobs expected through the Forestry Division. But Costello says they've heard those promises before.
As an NPO, I called the minister's office. And if his secretary is telling me that she knows nothing about it, and I call the permanent secretary, who have to sign off on everything from the minister. And she don't know anything about it either. So I don't know who or what or where to go to, because we are interested in acquiring a reforestation program too. Right? You can see the members here. So this is why I'm saying we are here because we're not getting no justice. We're not getting no response. I don't ever have to be political affiliated to get the reforestation contract.
The protesters are hoping to have a meeting with Minister Ratiram before the program begins.
The future of Opposition Senator Janelle John Bates remains uncertain, as Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles has yet to say whether she accepted her resignation before Parliament was prorogued. John Bates resigned on May 1st after accepting responsibility for editing a witness statement submitted to a parliamentary committee on which she sat. Senator Faris Arawi also edited the document, but maintained he did so as the witness's attorney. Both senators appeared before the Privileges Committee multiple times before Parliament ended on May 22nd. Attorney General John Jeremy told CNC3 News that committee proceedings are absolutely confidential, but a PNM stalwart remains concerned about Beckles' silence, adding that she should have rejected John Bates' resignation outright.
The minute she offered her resignation, the opposition leader could have cleared that up one time and say, I am not moving her. And that's the belief of all the party members. The longer Penny stays in deciding on her status as a senator, the more the focus will be on her.
And political analyst Winford James also questioned the delay.
There's no advantage that I can see. And now that the parliament has been prorogued, what is the advantage? It's a matter of waiting a little bit more, because the thing is in her hands, you know.
With Parliament prorogued, all unfinished business on the order paper collapsed. The next session opens June 5th, but it remains unclear whether John Bates will return to the Senate.
Still to come in the news tonight. CCJ rules the detention of political analyst Derek Ramsamuj in Suriname was unlawful. We'll tell you how much he was awarded.
Dust levels are up, breezes are strong, and nearshore conditions can become very choppy at times. We check in on the seas right after the break.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today.
KC Ginger Mint, your trusted and natural wellness. Now with healthier options. KC Ginger Mint with honey and lime. KC Ginger Mint with orange and KC Ginger Mint with lemon. KC Ginger, honey, lemon, lime, and orange. Natural and trusted for generations for soothing sore throats and digestion and boost immunity. Get your new KC Candy Ginger Mint extended range today and breathe naturally.
Introducing Advancis Energy Vitamins. Advancis Energy Vitamins is designed to give you the extra push you need to power through your day. It's not just any multivitamin. Packed with more than 20 vitamins and minerals with added ginseng and reinforced prebiotics. A unique synergistic formula that you will find nowhere else. To help you experience more sustained energy, feel more alive and alert to keep you going strong all day long. See the difference now with Advancis Energy Vitamins. Available at leading pharmacies and Pennywise nationwide.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Dry, irritated skin can make everyday life uncomfortable. For those with eczema, psoriasis, or sensitive, damaged skin, Manuka Derm is made with medical-grade Manuka honey, not regular honey, known for its soothing and healing properties. It helps calm, protect, and support skin recovery. Suitable for dry skin, skin tears, excoriations, and minor superficial wounds and burns. Manuka Derm, powered by Manuka honey. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
As the search enters day 5, relatives of missing Whiteland PH taxi driver Simon Bagwat are continuing their desperate pleas for help.
2 Sundays ago, 36-year-old Bagwat reported extortion threats to the police. Relatives say he returned to the Gasparilla police station last Wednesday to give a further statement, but never returned home. His family last had contact with him around 11:30 that morning while he was still at the station. Calls to his cell phone have since gone unanswered, and searches by the Hunters Search and Rescue team have yielded no results. Bagwat's white 80 wagon is also missing. His parents, Percy and Juliana, are making another appeal tonight for anyone with information to contact the police.
We don't know exactly what is going on. We are just waiting and praying and hoping that, they find him and he can come home. Our biggest hope is that they don't do him any harm. But Josh always a nice person.
The family confirmed that the anti-kidnapping unit has been engaged, but they've received no ransom demand.
Meanwhile, Valence Rambarat of the Hunter Search and Rescue team says they are actively working with law enforcement to locate him and his vehicle, but there have been no confirmed leads thus far.
The Ministry of Energy and Energy Industries has issued holdover letters to 25 operators in the mineral sector, allowing them to continue mining and processing activities while applications for renewed licenses are being reviewed.
The ministry said the letters were issued on May 22nd to bona fide operators with active operations whose mining and processing licenses had expired and were in the process of renewal. Under the arrangement, the operators will be allowed to continue operating under the same terms and conditions as their previous licenses for a period of 1 year. In a release issued, the ministry said the move is critical to fueling the government's revitalization blueprint, which includes 129 major construction projects. Additionally, the ministry said it is reviewing a list of inactive operators with expired licenses to determine whether they were interested in resuming operations. In tonight's Business Watch, the Agostini Group has announced retired banker Karen Darbesi as a director.
Meanwhile, calls have been made for improved infrastructure and awareness for electric vehicles as demand increases. Peter Christopher reports.
Less than a year after her retirement as Chief Executive Officer of the First Citizens Group, Karen Darbesi will join the Board of Directors of Agostini Limited from June 1st, 2026. Darbesi is set to replace Dr. Wayne Frederick, who is stepping down as a director on that date. The company says Frederick's departure was due to increased commitment in the United States, and it adds that Dr. Frederick's sound judgment and board contributions were meaningful and highly valued. Darbesi held the position of Group CEO at the First Citizens Group from April 2015 until her retirement in October 2025. The need for improved infrastructure amid growing interest and usage of hybrid and electric vehicles in Trinidad and Tobago was emphasized at the Caribbean EV and Hybrid Conference and Exhibition 2026. The event was hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce last week.
This conference is not simply about vehicles. It is about economic transformation, industrial modernization, competitiveness, and positioning Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean to participate meaningfully in industries that are shaping the future global economy.
The conference had a major focus on safety as Texas A&M University's Chris Angerer notes the dangers of thermal runaway in lithium-ion batteries used in electric vehicles. Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities Clyde Elder says given the recent investment in EVs by the government, it will look at increasing charging stations around the country. Managing Director of Automatic Service and Repair Center Keegan Barrow Simon says he plans to enter into partnership with MIC Institute of Technology for a mentorship program.
It hurts me every day to see a lot of young men going astray, knowing fully well how thin the line is that these gentlemen are about to cross. And facilities like MIC help move these guys back onto the right path. And I do believe with our support and our partnership with MIC, we're going to help a lot of young men develop themselves and build careers.
Simon announced the planned partnership at an event commemorating the company's expansion into Maraval on Sunday. Simon used the skills learned at MIC to open the company in Freeport 10 years ago. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Peter Christopher, CNC3 Business Watch.
It's now time for the weather forecast with Sigoni, and today appeared to be quite a hazy day. I think a lot of people were talking about it. Is it Saharan dust?
It is Saharan dust, and in there we also still have some bushfire activity. So you're getting smoke and dust haze mixing in, and some cloudiness as well. But it's not enough in terms of what's happening out there to give us some relief. So let's take a look at that forecast, because if you notice the horizon looking just a little bit blurry, it's not your glasses, it's the haze. The biggest feature in weather today continues to be a significant concentration of Saharan dust haze that's moving across the atmosphere. Air quality remains generally acceptable, but there may still be moderate health concerns for people like you at home who are unusually sensitive to this change. So children, older adults, and especially people with respiratory conditions like asthma should try to limit prolonged outdoor activity where possible. So we're seeing a lot of that entering the picture here. But additionally, we've got deep layered moisture and instability, which continues to affect the region. And what we're seeing is that it's helping to maintain cloudy skies and scattered showers across parts of the eastern Caribbean. It is also producing cloudy skies in our area, but the dust is just stifling any shower reaction in our forecast. And that's not all. We've got winds which may also gust at times, especially near showers, due to pulses of stronger low-level winds moving through the general area. And this one is actually impacting our seas to some extent. So marine conditions may also become occasionally choppy and briefly at times within those nearshore and sheltered areas. And that's all due to those stronger low-level winds, meaning a little caution is advised to anyone heading offshore over the next few hours, taking us into midweek. Even though our winds are maintained from a northeast to east southeasterly direction, the speed is going to be the big player here. So we can see waves ranging from anywhere between 1 meter in the nearshore areas to 2.5 meters in the open water. So you need to exercise a little bit of caution where that is concerned. What else is happening in the forecast? Yeah, we're not done yet. We still have that light haze moving across the general area in a few areas, but look at what's happening here. By midnight, we see some showers picking up across eastern portions of Trinidad, even all the way into Tobago, but the temperatures remain on the warm side, lows dipping down to the mid-20s, and for the rest of the week, that's going to stay the same way. Overnight temperatures hit the mid-20s, and during the daytime period, 32, 33 degrees Celsius for Trinidad, and we'll be seeing that mixture of sunshine and cloudiness with the dust haze mixing in. By the weekend, we could possibly see some moderate to heavy downpours, even a thunderstorm for Trinidad, but Tobago will see variably cloudy skies picking up by midweek into the weekend and some showery activity taking us through that forecast period. But the high temperatures here also wickedly warm, 31 and 32 degrees Celsius in some areas, overnight staying around 26 degrees, so no pulling the covers into this forecast period, unfortunately. So take note of what's happening, because that's not all that's going on. We still have 6 days to go in terms of our Atlantic hurricane season, 4 hours, and we're counting right down to the seconds, guys. The Atlantic hurricane season kicks off on June 1st, and with that in mind, even though we're expecting a below normal season, you still want to prepare for whatever may come our way.
That's right. And I mean, with the warm temperatures, we aren't the only ones complaining. I see Europe is also being affected.
Lots of heat happening there, but they will see some relief in the days to come.
All right, thank you so much, Sigoni. Still to come in the news, growing support for local parole system. But former inmates and advocates say reintegration can be undermined.
It's Super Month and Savings, only at Passat's The Food King. Incredible deals on Santa Rosa Vienna sausage, 4 tins, now $20. Golden brand margarine stick to 25 grams, 3 packs, now $20. Guiltless Yum yogurt, 4 tubs, now $20. More wow deals on Sierra chicken frats, 3 packs, now $20. Happy Charming noodles, rolled or fine, 340 grams, 3 packs, now $20. Lucozade Energy, 360 ml, 2 bottles, now $20. Fresh Harvest Chana and Brine, 3 tins, now $20. More super savings on Moo low-fat evaporated milk, 250 ml, 4 packs, now $20. Blue Sea tuna flakes in water and oil, 4 tins, now $20. Cataly tomato ketchup, 3 packs, now $20. Sale ends June 7th or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. We're here to stay. The Food King Passat's.
New remedy for the healthy function of the nerves in the feet and legs.
I have been living with diabetes over 10 years, and the nerve pain was becoming unbearable. The numbness, the tingling, the burning became a daily challenge. A friend told me about New Remedy, and after 3 weeks of trying it, there was a marked difference.
Benfotiamine, a synthetic form of thiamine, has been scientifically shown to help relieve many of these symptoms, especially in early cognitive decline. I strongly recommend it as part of your supplement regime and for all patients with nerve problems.
I have confidence in New Remedy because it contains benfotiamine. This has been proven to help with numbness, tingling, and pain in the legs and feet.
As a pharmacist, I strongly recommend New Remedy to all my clients.
If you're experiencing nerve pain like I did, try New Remedy. It worked for me, it will work for you.
New Remedy is available at all major pharmacies nationwide.
We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance. But we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza, in Deva Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Kickstart your career in IT with the BSc Information Technology from the University of Bedfordshire, delivered at CTS College. The BSc Information Technology equips students for the latest jobs in the IT field. Benefit from online learning environment, dedicated program manager, WhatsApp groups with students and lecturers, shared drive with lecture notes, recordings, assignments, and more. Tutorial support for assignments. Email CTS College on study@ctscollege.com.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
A UNC councillor remains warded in critical condition at the San Fernando General Hospital after he was found unresponsive at his Freeport home yesterday.
CNC3 News understands that Councillor Anil Baliram, representative for Freeport Chickland, is not breathing on his own. His family, however, has requested privacy. Kuva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation Chairman Ryan Rampasad, who returned to the country today after being abroad for 2 weeks, said he and other councillors visited the hospital today and met with Baliram's wife and other relatives. Describing Baliram as one of the hardest working councillors in the corporation, Rampasad said they continue to support the family and pray for his full recovery.
We are having an interfaith service at our monthly statutory meeting on a Wednesday. We'll start with an interfaith service for Councillor Baliram. And we call on the members of the public to continue to pray for him and for his family and, give all the support that they can.
Local Government Minister Khadija Amin urges the public to show compassion and avoid speculation on social media while authorities continue investigations.
In other news, political analyst Derek Ramsamouj has scored a major legal victory over being denied access to an attorney after being detained in Suriname in 2020.
Today, the Caribbean Court of Justice upheld Ramsamouj's case and awarded him US $30,000 in compensation. Ramsamouj brought the case after he was held on a parking order in Suriname while being investigated over a payment he received from a bank under a previous government. Although the order was eventually lifted, Ramsamouj was not allowed to leave the country for several months as he was charged with fraud and money laundering. He was only allowed to leave after a judge upheld a claim over his medical condition. In determining the case, CCJ President Winston Anderson and 4 of his colleagues ruled that the order was unlawful. However, he could be prosecuted based on evidence gathered by Suriname law enforcement officers outside his detention. Ramsamouj's compensation was based on his health deteriorating while under detention, during which he suffered a stroke and lost vision in one of his eyes.
More than 30 years after entering the Port of Spain prison for murder, one inmate's story has shifted from the crime that sent him there to the rehabilitation he has built behind bars. Prison reform activist Debbie Jacobs says cases like his reflect a wider reality inside the prison system, where inmates spend years engaged in skills and rehabilitation programs aimed at reintegration. She argues that genuine reform should be considered in decisions around parole, especially for those who have served long sentences and demonstrated change over time. As government advances the proposed parole and victims' rights bills, the debate moves beyond legislation to a broader question of whether society is prepared to accept reformed offenders. Jacob says the justice system must balance punishment with the possibility of reintegration while carefully assessing each case on its merits.
That is really important too, because I know men who've been in prison for over 20 years, some up to 40 years, and they have really done a lot to rehabilitate themselves. And they have some skills that they could come back into society. And I think that's important.
Criminologists warn that rehabilitation inside prison does not automatically translate into safer outcomes outside prison walls. Dr. Randy Sipasad says prison environments can reinforce criminal behavior through socialization, increasing the likelihood of reoffending after release. Former inmates and advocates say the real challenge begins after release, when stigma, unemployment, and weak support systems can undermine reintegration.
Sometimes for very, very minor offenses, persons could end up behind bars. So really what you're talking about is a diversionary strategy, right? And there is a lot of research which suggests that if you divert persons outside of the prison, the outcomes tend to be a lot better in terms of recidivism rates, meaning the likelihood that they stay out of crime improves.
ION Dependency co-founder Garth Sinclair says former inmates often leave prison with skills, but without the support systems needed to survive.
He warns that without stronger partnerships between the state, NGOs and the private sector, many risk drifting back into the conditions that led to their imprisonment. Well, it's now time for sport. It's up next, and we're talking Caribbean Ultimate Fist Fighting, Jassy.
That's right, mixed martial arts at its absolute finest, and the host country dominated last weekend's event. We'll get you caught up on the excitement. Plus, the latest news on FIFA's plans for fans at the upcoming World Cup, and a trip down memory lane. We remember the reign of the German bomber. Stick around, sport is next.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children, because they deserve it.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Welcome back. It is time for sport. Police FC's march to the TTPFL Tier 2 Division 1 title hit a bump over the weekend, and as a result, the league title will go down to the final match day. Caston Cupid has the highlights of how their battle with Matura Reunited left the door open for QPCC to possibly sneak through.
Police FC were very optimistic they could seal the deal and win the title when they welcomed Matura Reunited to the barracks on Saturday. A glorious opportunity opened up for the Cops, but the strikers' killer instinct was lacking, and the defender made the clearance. On the attack again, but wide the shot went. Matura had a few chances, but the finishing lacked any real venom. Though officers almost took the lead just before the half, but the post saved the day for the visitors. Second half action then, and the search for the opener continued with wasted chances. But this one pulled out the best from the reunited custodians Felician. Against the run of play, the men in black almost stole all 3 points, but a late goal line clearance ensured this one ended goalless, each side earning a share of the spoils. In other results, Malabar Young Stars defeated UTT, Defence Force edged Harlem Strikers, and QPCC's hunt for the title is holding on by a thread. They did what was needed, a 6-0 hammering of Central Soccer World. Police is 3 points clear at the top with a plus 27 goal difference. QPCC is second and hot on the heels of the Officers, 3 points behind and a plus 20 goal difference. A 4-goal win against the Officers on the final day of the league is what QPCC have to do to snatch the title after a season of playing catch-up. A draw will crown Police champions. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sports.
Police FC women's team, meanwhile, remains in the chasing pack in the Women's League Football's Trinidad group, despite a 3-0 win over Pioneers FC at the Ken Cook ground in St. James on Sunday. In the 35th, Anushka Villarreal assisted Chanel Henry's looping shot, which slipped through the grip of the Pioneers goalkeeper. It was the only goal in that first half, but Henry was back to win a penalty for Police in the second half, and she buried the kick from 12 yards herself to make it 2-0 in their favor. Then, when the Point Fortin Pioneers goalkeeper was nowhere in sight in the 82nd, Shakima Forrestine, she completed a simple tap-in to complete a 3-0 victory for Police. In other results, Club Sando was granted a default win over Athletic International Academy, and an Aaliyah Prince hat-trick gave AC Port of Spain women a 5-3 win over Trendsetter Hawks. They now continue to lead the group with 32 points from UTT, Club Sando, Trendsetter Hawks, and Police. Well, only a small group of Trinidad and Tobago's senior men's footballers are in training ahead of a pair of international friendlies against South Korea and Russia in the USA within the coming weeks. But the final team is yet to be named. Head coach Derek King and his assistants continue to work with the group at the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar Arima and are expected to announce the squad sometime before the team's departure on Thursday. TNT will meet South Korea for only the second time ever on the campus of Brigham Young University in Utah on May 30th. King was on the pitch when the teams last met in July 2004. That match ended in a 1-1 draw. TNT will then tackle Russia on June 9th. And of course, they are preparing, rather South Korea, they are preparing to participate at this year's World Cup. 2026 National Basketball Champions Maloney Pacers tasted defeat at the zonal level on the weekend. Spartans upstaged the champs in a keen Division I duel in the Lincoln Cripple Griffith North Zone Basketball League on Sunday. Again, here's Caston Cupid.
At the Woodbrook Youth Facility, Maloney Pacers in the yellow took on Spartans in the black. Samuel Edwards dropped the hezzy, then strong down the lane. What a bucket for Spartans, showing their intentions from early on. Hakeem Morgan then went coast to coast for the Pacers. As they showed, there were no pushover. At the end of the first, the men from the East trailed by only 2, 19-17. It only made their opponents work harder. Second quarter, Spartans with the full court press forced Edwards to turn it over. Zachary Julian missed the layup, but William Francis was big in the paint for the putback. The press continued to find success, forcing another turnover, and this time Julian didn't miss. Coming out from the needed timeout, Pacers' Jelani Blackett drilled a 3. He had 11 on the night. And Kobe Ince down the baseline showed his strength for the bucket, and of course, he had to flex. It was a good passage of play from Pacers. Blackett with the steal and the dish for 2 of Kanye George's 14 points. Pacers still trailing 44-47 at the half. Tyrese Fields started the second half with a deep 3. Tristan Benjamin, who finished with 15 points for Spartans, had a couple of buckets. Fields stayed dangerous. He was doing his best to keep Pacers close. Yes, clutch shooting at its best. He had a game-high 19 on the night. In's 13-point night saw the young man lead the fast break with the bucket and 1. It was all square at 61, but Spartans was just too strong in the end. A complete team effort saw them go on another run to storm to a 100-78 final victory by 22 points. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago's mixed martial artists delivered an outstanding display, winning 5 out of 6 bouts at CUF 22 on Saturday at the Cascadia Hotel in St. Anne's. Samaki Felician watched it all unfold.
It was a big night for local MMA as Caribbean Ultimate Fist Fighting, CUF, delivered high-level action at the Cascadia Hotel in St. Anne's, with fighters from across the region stepping into the cage for the 22nd edition. But the story of the night belonged to Trinidad and Tobago, and especially Southern Warriors Mixed Martial Arts, as the home team entered the octagon ready to perform. Keelan Khan set the early tune with an impressive first-round submission victory over Emmanuel Wright. Ronaldo Diaz kept the momentum going with another strong performance to defeat Oluwaseun Norton. Then in one of the night's most entertaining bouts, Joshua Cooper survived a tough 3-round battle against Jamaica's Soweto James to secure the win. Anthony Joseph added another W for the red, white and black against Sanjay Hudson before attention turned to the title fight. In the Lightweight World Championship, TNT's Joshua James took on Venezuela's Alejandro Valdez in a hard-fought contest that went the distance. When it was all over, James had done enough to claim the title and complete a special night for the host nation.
I'm so happy to be one of those people that are something like an ambassador to the sport because, you know, I fight a lot and I think I'm the most active fighter outside, so all I want to do is just showcase my skills and continue to motivate all the others that are coming up as well.
Overall, 4 of TNT's 5 wins on the evening came at the hands and feet of Southern Warriors mixed martial artists, making the dojo one of the standout storylines of CUF 22. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sports.
Now for our World Cup countdown, the German bomber is heralded tonight, and even as fans contemplate whether to even travel to the showpiece, FIFA announces another initiative. With 17 days remaining in the countdown to World Cup 2026, 17 is also tonight's magic number. The record for the most tournament victories by one player stands at 17, held by the lethal German striker Miroslav Klose. Klose, aka the German bomber, racked up 5 victories each at Korea-Japan 2002, his home tournament in Germany 2006, and at the South Africa edition 2010, adding 2 more victories at Brazil 2014. While lifting the World Cup once with 2 bronze medals also to his name, Klose is also the top scorer in tournament history with 16 goals. Now to this, fans heading to the historic tournament in Canada, the USA and Mexico will be issued the FIFA Fan ID, a free physical card and fan memento available to every ticket holder. More than just a keepsake, however, the card unlocks a unique digital environment full of official content, rewards and activations. Fans can also upload their own memories and create personalized merchandise from their matchday and tournament experience. Whether fans will be there to maximize on this great initiative is another matter entirely, as ticket prices remain at an all-time high. In light of that, in New York, Mayor Zoran Mamdani's affordable tickets registration process went online today. The mayor, in collaboration with the New York-New Jersey Host Committee, has made 1,000 tickets available at a cut rate $50 price, exclusive to residents of New York for matches in that state. Winners will be notified on June 3rd and have 48 hours to purchase up to 2 tickets. Key point there, residents of New York exclusively. I know some people were getting quite excited indeed. To Sport High now, the Spurs tied the Western Conference final at 2 apiece with a 21-point win over the OKC Thunder last evening. And that's where we found tonight's Sport High.
Wemby's been camping out in our Sport High for his absolute supremacy in the paint, and he gets the first shout this week from way back, drilling a halftime buzzer beater on his way to a game-high 33 points, a sight to strike fear into already shook-up league. So Wemby, for your sharp shooting shocker for the Spurs, you earn tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
17 more days.
17 days left to the World Cup, guys. Are you feeling the excitement?
Not yet.
Feeling for that $50 ticket, though.
That's right. Wish we could have participated.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, Your heart deserves better.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Here's a quick look at tonight's regional roundup.
More than 100 female prisoners have been transferred from a Venezuelan detention center after inmates took over the facility. Over 1,000 inmates went on strike, occupying the roof and brandishing banners to protest severe beatings and systemic torture. The unrest comes as Caracas faces growing public frustration over the slow pace of political prisoner releases. Jamaica is recording a significant drop in violent crime, with homicides down more than 22% so far this year. Shootings, robberies and rape cases have all seen double-digit declines nationwide. Officials attribute the sustained downward slide to expanded policing strategies and aggressive anti-gang operations island-wide. Cuba has received 15,000 tons of rice from China, the first shipment in a massive 60,000-ton emergency food aid package. President Miguel Diaz-Canel hailed the donation as a noble gesture of solidarity that will feed millions of citizens across the island's provinces, schools and hospitals. Jesse Ramdale, CNC3 News.
And a massive heat wave in Western Europe is bringing record-breaking temperatures ahead of summer. Today, temperatures reached as high as 34.4 degrees in London. At least 13 other areas in the region topped 32 degrees. Meteorologists say the average high for London in late May is around 20 degrees. This week, most of Western Europe is expected to reach above normal temperatures. From here, we take another short break. Stay with us right here on CNC3.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
With shovels, watering cans and buckets in hand, hundreds of Massey employees marched into the Guayco forest on Sunday with a mission to plant 350 trees as part of the National Day of Caring. Volunteers planted a mix of fruit, hardwood and native trees, including chenet, immortelle and châtaigne, which will eventually form a thriving tree canopy. The project aims to turn quarry land that has been stripped of minerals back into fertile land. Among the adults, 8-year-old Samir Ali could be seen carefully placing dirt around his sapling. His parents telling CNC3 News that Samir was learning about the environment and wanted to take part himself. Adele Rose, ESG strategy manager for the Massey Group and self-proclaimed tree hugger, says the group is now looking at more ways to involve children in future sustainability initiatives.
And what I think is absolutely so beautiful is we're seeing more and more that the children are the ones leading the charge in sustainability, because they are becoming more aware of the fact that they are inheriting the earth from us, and we haven't done that great of a job in, being good stewards for the earth. So they are calling their parents out. They are saying, no, you can't do this because it's bad for the environment and that's not going to help me. So looking at ways that we could begin to incorporate kids more and more into these types of initiatives, but also supporting them in the ways that they come up, because they are so creative.
The reforestation project will continue for the next 3 years at the National Quarries compound in Sangre Grande in partnership with the IAM movement and Close the Loop. Well, it's not often that security guards make the news, but this time we're making an exception for a particularly cute four-legged one, a capybara.
Well, in this 4-second clip uploaded to social media. The capybara can be seen strolling along the fence of the Piarco International Airport, looking very much like it was doing a perimeter check before takeoff. But social media users quickly weighed in on the clip with some light-hearted fun, some saying it was merely trying to catch a flight. Well, while the online reaction has been mostly light-hearted, wildlife near airports can pose a very real threat to aircraft during takeoff and landing if they make their way onto the runway.
Well, just a few months ago, a Trans-Guyana Airways aircraft was damaged after striking a capybara during landing at Ogle Airport in Guyana. Fortunately, there were no injuries among the 14 passengers and crew members on board.
Unfortunately, no incidents here at home. I think the capybara is just part of the welcoming home committee for this landing.
I think so too.
Very cute sight. All right, well, that's how we end the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Ryan Bechu.
I am Jassi Marique.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Do have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.
It's time for celebrity